If you're watching this video, there's probably a pretty good chance you already know about the amazing gains gold is making. Unfortunately, the high entry fee gold is commanding right now puts it out of reach of all but the most cashed up of investors. After all, gold has risen to over $1,600 per ounce, and it doesn't look like it's going to be slowing down its juggernaut rampage anytime soon, leaving the rich to get richer and the hard-working average Joes like you to suffer. At least, that's what the average American believes. But the truth is, there's a way to get into the gold game for pennies on the dollar. And I'm not talking about strategies that require hundreds or even thousands of dollars for you to get started with. I'm talking about a method that can kickstart your gold empire for under $100. Yes, you heard right. The cash you've got in your bank account right now could allow you to completely transform your financial situation. And not in months or even years from now. I'm talking about creating a sizable wealth windfall in a week or less. Of course, if you're completely new to this method, you probably won't be reeling in thousands of bucks in your first week unless you've got a lot of capital to invest. But if you're like most Americans, even an extra few $100 in the next 7 days could make all the difference in the world to you. Hell, that's a car payment, a new refrigerator, or just keeping the lights on for another month. At the very least, it's an extra wad of cash to add to your vitally important retirement fund. And in all likelihood, it's an income injection that's sorely needed right now. After all, it's not like it's been economic smooth sailing lately. In fact, the last few years have seen what was previously seen as foolproof investment advice given a sound thrashing. Previously stable 401ks bled money like a teenager with a credit card. The Dow Jones nosedived towards the pavement practically overnight. And even real estate, the golden standard of sensible investing, dropped by almost 50% in many communities. If you were heavily invested in any of these vehicles, or the many of others that folded like a piece of wet cardboard in the 2008 credit crunch, then I know how painful it must have been. After all, the global financial crisis didn't exactly leave me unscathed. It not only put me behind the 8 ball on my retirement plans, it also made me terrified of any future investments, gold included. But while I don't have a crystal ball, I'm as certain as I can be that investing in gold, especially for just pennies on the dollar like I do, is one of the safest high-yield investments you can make. After all, history has proven that times of economic hardship only send the price of gold higher. Analysts are calling this the Great Depression 2.0, and we're already seeing many of the hardships of the 1930s repeating themselves. Unemployment is at an all-time high. Consumer spending has dropped like a rock. And the U.S. government is desperately scrambling to work in, quote-unquote, stopgap solutions until the economy rights itself. If we look back on history, it's true the stock market, real estate prices, and other popular wealth yardsticks of the time dropped sharply during the Great Depression. But precious metals, particularly gold, continued to soar during this rocky financial period. Time and time again, precious metals such as gold are the lifeblood of far-sighted investors who want to avoid chronic inflation, market volatility, and other economic troubles. And if the opinions of the sharpest economic minds in the world are of any value, we're about to see gold values skyrocket in a way that makes the Great Depression look like a church bake sale. Here's the super brief big picture. It's no secret the U.S. government is literally trillions of dollars in debt and rising by the million every second. Official records put the debt at around $15 trillion. But unofficial, exposed sources have combined this with off-the-books debt figures as much as Medicaid and come up with a figure that's far more frightening, an almost unimaginable $70 trillion. Regardless of which figure you believe to be the correct one, and personally, I see it being a lot more than $15 trillion, the cold hard truth is that there's literally no way for the U.S. government to pay back their debt short of flooding the market with American currency, devaluing the U.S. dollar in the blink of an eye. Economists believe that this will force them to return to a currency based on the amount of gold available to them as opposed to the current fiat system, wreaking economic havoc not only at home but also abroad, given the US dollar is the standard of relative currency throughout the world. Mix these catalysts with China's juggernaut financial expansion, the almost inevitable collapse of the European Union, and a host of other carefully hidden economic gunpowders, and you quickly arrive at a global financial havoc that towers over the depression of the 1930s. So what does this mean for you? Yes, traditional investment vehicles such as stocks, bonds, real estate, and mutual funds are almost certain to fall in value. But the value of gold is likely to skyrocket like never before. True investors late to the party will likely be left out in the cold. But opportunity seekers who have already amassed a decent amount of gold will experience one of the most profound opportunities to build wealth in history. Of course, now we're back to the original problem. The fact that gold today, even in its weakened state, is far too expensive for the average Joe to comfortably afford. After all, who has the $1,600 an ounce that gold requires? Not guys like us, that's for sure. Thankfully, there is a solution available. A sneaky backdoor method that allows you to legally acquire huge amounts of gold at a heavy discount, sell it for an obscene profit, and stay one step ahead of the looming financial collapse. Introducing Gold Profit Secrets. If you've ever wanted to ride the profit wave gold and other precious metals are producing right now, if you're eager to reap the gains the gold market is dishing out to calculating metal moguls, and if you're ready to transform your life into a reality of financial freedom, then Gold Profit Secrets is for you. In this no-holds-barred 90-minute audio recording, I grill underground gold expert Mr. X on the secrets he uses to make fast, easy, stable cash by trading gold at pennies on the dollar. You'll discover where to get gold for a shockingly low price, the refineries and dealers who instantly pay top dollar for gold of any condition, and the secret techniques to building your very own gold empire with $100 or less. In short, it's a complete step-by-step blueprint designed to give those of us behind the financial 8-ball a much-needed boost of earning potential, allowing you to get back on track with your dreams or even realize new ones. Best of all, you don't need to know a thing about the gold market, trading precious metals, or have any previous experience with gold to be successful on this system. Simply apply our proven to work templates, more on that in a moment, and you'll instantly take all the guesswork out of profiting from gold. Inside this economy-beating treasure map, you'll discover the little-known tricks to discovering urban ministries filled with gold for as little as 25% of spot. Once you look through these treasure troves, which exist in every town, it's almost impossible not to end up ahead through your purchases. Why large gold buying operations will never be able to compete with a one-man band, and how you can use the size and sloth of these big companies to beat them at their own game every time. The 80-20 rule I use to build wealth while still being able to enjoy all the comforts and luxury of life. Why sacrifice a good time now for security later when you can have both? Why gold is only going to keep increasing in value, and how to place yourself in a position to reap a huge reward of precious metal profits far sooner than even economy experts are predicting. How to sell your gold for maximum cash, quickly, easily, and with a minimum of negotiating. Combine this with the tricks for bringing low-cost gold flooding to your doorstep, and you instantly have a buy low, sell high situation for building your retirement fund. The lazy investor's technique that sends people flocking to your door, begging you to buy their gold for a mere fraction of its true value. Why spend your time chasing after the deals when you could easily have them coming to you?